So yeah, I'm David Gray-Hammond. I am the founder and CEO of NeuroHub Community. I do a lot of work one-to-one and in groups, doing peer support, peer mentoring, mindfulness. We do family support work, we do training, consultancy, research, and I've written too many books in a very short space of time. Ranges from things to do with substance use in autistic populations through to psychosis, through to the more philosophical aspects of neurodiversity itself. And when I think about autistic pride, I wonder, what is it we're referring to when we say that we're proud of being autistic? Because I don't believe that it's something that we're saying we are special or better than anyone else. I mean, obviously things can make us special and we're all special in our own way. But for me, pride isn't about being above people. Pride is about refusing to be ashamed. Because as autistic people, we live in a world that constantly tells us that who we are is either not enough or too much, that we should do something to be more neurotypical, something to fit in more. Even as the square peg with the round hole, they tell us we should shave bits off of ourselves so that we fit through that round hole. But the truth is that who we are as autistic people is enough, and it's who we're meant to be. It's as close to being perfect as you can be in our own imperfect ways. And so the one thing I always like people to come away from the work I do with them, I like them to come away with the idea that, there is no space in which we should feel ashamed of who we are, but we should be in spaces where we're able to feel proud of who we are, spaces where we're able to refuse that shame and be something more than the stigma and the stereotypes that are so often trotted out around here. And so I do a lot of campaigning and work to try and up the profile of autistic people in the mainstream, because the autistic community is at a point where it's thriving, it's huge, but the mainstream world doesn't know we're there. They still see us, they still see us as an invisible quantity, a non-existent. And that's simply not true. There is more to our community. We have a culture, we have language, we have a double empathy divide in that we don't have less empathy than non-autistic people. We just don't have a point of reference within a non-autistic framework. And non-autistic people are the same with us. They have no reference point in our experience. And so it's not that we lack empathy, it's that neither of us can fully empathize with the other because we don't know what it's like to be them. And it's not our job as autistic people to come all the way over to the neurotypical side. It's our job to meet people in the middle and engage in conversations that build bridges and connect us to one another. Because that's one thing that I know from my archaeology studies is that human beings do well when they're connected to each other. And I like to look at the autistic community like a mycelium, a rhizome. I like to look at it as an interconnected set of nodes that are dependent on one another, but none of them will fail if one of them has to drop out. There's no entry or exit point. It's just a network, a community of groups and people that exist and share resources with one another to maintain our survival. And these are the things I think of when I think of autistic pride, because we've built those communities online. We've built an entire world without ever having to be physically in the presence of each other. I've developed friendships and camaraderie with autistic people that I've never met in real life, but together the work we do is incredible. And so this autistic pride, as with all autistic prides, I call on you to refuse that insistence that we should be ashamed of who we are as autistic people, because autistic people have a place in this world, and it's time that we stopped being pulled into the margins and ignored as though we weren't human beings. Thank you for coming. I'm selling my books over in the Unitarian Church. There's 8 different books there. Please come and check them out. I've also got some stickers and some literature about stuff we do at NeuroHub Community. For example, next month we are having our Autistic Mental Health Conference, which has 2 online days plus an in-person day on the 15th of August, which will be at St Mary Magdalene Church Hall in Coldine, Brighton. So please do come check out the books and the literature we've got for free so that you can look at NeuroHub and get in contact with me. And whatever you do, refuse to be ashamed and be proud of who you are. Thank you. Thank you.